Available on Blu-ray from Arrow Video is director Sidney Lumet's 1996 crime drama thriller Night Falls on Manhattan, starring Andy Garcia, Ian Holm, Richard Dreyfuss, Lena Olin, James Gandolfini, and Dominic Chianese, Vincent Pastore. So it's got a whole bunch of people from The Sopranos who weren't going to be on The Sopranos for a while. Frank Vincent, Bobby Cannavale, I think his first film, Ron Liebman, and Ian Holm. Wowzers. This is a good film. This is, or let me dial that back. This is an amazing cast, great director. I didn't love it. So presented in English 5.1 or English 2.0 stereo, English SDH subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Originally a Paramount release. I remember when this movie came out, but I remember from the trailers, I really couldn't get a handle on what it was. Is it a crime movie? Is it a courtroom movie? What's the deal here? So I never went to see this, and I never have seen this until I watched this new Arrow edition. So the basic story here is this. Notorious drug dealer. The film opens with Ian Holm and his partner James Gandolfini going to bust this drug dealer. Things go bad. Holm gets shot, and the drug dealer escapes, kills a bunch of cops, and Garcia is on the case to help. Once the drug dealer is caught, Richard Dreyfuss is the lawyer who represents him, and Andy Garcia is pulled up from the DA's office to be the head prosecutor on this case. He also happens to be the son of Ian Holm, the cop who got shot earlier. So I'm not going to tell you too much of the story here, just enough to give you what the basic premise is. Court case happens. Court case leads to an internal affairs investigation into dirty cops that implicates people who may or may not be close to Andy Garcia. So it's this internal struggle of, are people I know and people I've known and loved and trusted, are they dirty? Are they not? We have to get to the bottom of this. And it's a lot of push and pull. And it's a really well-made movie. It's a good movie. It's just, when it was over, I was like, I don't know if I would watch that again. But one time, it was a good film. Certainly, it's Sidney, yeah, easy for me to say. Sidney Lumet, who has done just great stuff. So transfer looks great, and the film's Ron Liebman is great. Everybody in it is good, and it's very interesting to see, as I said, all these people who would go on to be the Sopranos, who would be the Sopranos, be in the Sopranos, a decade or more later. Special features are all taken from archival material from either from previous releases or that were created around the time of the film. So there's nothing new to this. There is a commentary by Sidney Lumet. There's a commentary by Andy Garcia, Ron Liebman, Josh Kramer, and Tom Mount, who are the producers. And there is the directors. These are really good. It was a TV series in late 90s, early 2000s. I've got it down as 2002. It felt a little earlier than that. The directors, Sidney Lumet, it was a series of 1-hour TV episodes about various directors. And Arrow has used others before. They used one for, I can't think of his name now, but they've used these before, and they're really good because they're career overviews with a lot of clips, and they interview tons of people, pretty high profile people who have worked with these various directors. That's really good. On-set interviews with various cast members. I'll run down and give you the runtimes on these. It's all EPK, electronic press kit kind of stuff that was done to promote the film at the time. So there's not a lot of depth in any of these interviews. It's all of the sort of, what's it like to work with Sidney Lumet? Explain your character. What's this movie about? Talk about how much you like your other cast members. It's pretty fluffy stuff, but if you're a fan of the movie, it's cool to see the actors, in costume, in makeup, on the set, out of character. Andy Garcia is 3 minutes. Richard Dreyfuss is 3 minutes. Lena Olin is 2 minutes. Ian Holm is 3 minutes, Ron Liebman 4 minutes, Sidney Lumet 5 minutes. There is a 13-minute behind the scenes sequence on this film. There is the trailer. It's 2 minutes long, but half of it is clips from other Sidney Lumet movies. Basically say, he gave you Dog Day Afternoon, he gave you Serpico, he gave you this, he gave you that, and now he gives you this, which is, I always feel like that's a dangerous thing when you start talking about other great movies and then talk about your movie, because 99.9% of the time, the movie you're talking about is nowhere near as good as those others, but that's interesting to see. And then there's a minute and a half of TV spots. So who's this for? If you're a fan of Sidney Lumet, or just solid, intelligent, adult, and I don't mean naked, but I mean adult for grown-ups, which we don't get much of anymore. If you're interested in a crime drama for grown-ups, this is good. If you're interested in any of these actors, they're all shown off to great effect because Lumet knew how to pick them and knew how to use them. So available on Blu-ray from Arrow Video is Night Falls on Manhattan.